What is up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of F1 2020 Career Mode. We're back for episode number 6, this time for the Spanish Grand Prix, the much anticipated episode of the season. I've now finally caught up to the point where I'm recording new episodes after the game has come out. The podium pass is now a thing, and we can go absolutely ham with the customization of my team. So in today's episode, we are going to completely change the look of the team and the car and my helmet and everything. So we're going to go in deep right at the start of this episode. If you want to see a full look at what you can choose from in the podium pass, I'll leave a link to a video down in the description. It shows you everything that's unlockable on the podium pass, and I don't know, if there's anything in there that you like, then let me know. But this is what I'm going to go with. We are going to change up the color scheme from orange to purple. Now, a lot of you guys have said that the car that we have currently just looks too much like the McLaren, and I do agree. And so I feel like let's diversify ourselves from the rest of the grid. There are no purple cars in F1, and so I want to, just change it up a bit and just stand out from the crowd. So this is the livery that you can see on screen right now. The livery may change over the course of the season, but I want to stick with purple. Let me know what you think. We could maybe even still incorporate a little bit of orange into the livery if you guys really want to. Like, that looks pretty good, but I really do like the purple on the back of the car. So that's primarily what we're going to run. And like what you're seeing right here, this is just me just playing around with things, just being a bit silly. But I feel like the bit of purple on the back and rest of it being black is a really nice look. That's an alternative livery we can run, but it's all subject to change. But that's at least what we're going to run for the time being. Now, the helmet kind of matches the car. We're going to go for this purple swirly helmet with a bit of white and a bit of grey. I did originally have orange, but I decided to change or swap that out for a bit of grey. So that's the helmet, and I'm actually quite happy with that. I have found out recently that you can now put mods into the game, so I may even mod in my own helmet, which is completely different, but for the time being, this is going to be my helmet, and I quite like that. It looks really nice. So there we go. We are now up to date with the career mode. Let me know, like I said, with the look of the car. Unfortunately, heading into this, I can't change the team overalls and the team color just yet. I have to wait till the next episode. So when we go for our pit stop and stuff like that, we're going to be served by our pit crew with orange overalls. So that's just that's going to be a thing. I guess the budget didn't stretch fast enough to get the boys all kitted out for the new gear, but well, they'll be all ready for Monaco in the next episode, which I've already recorded as well, and oh my goodness, Monaco is incredible. But anyway, here we go for practice 1. You can now see the car in action on circuit with the new livery. I think it looks pretty nice. Yeah, again, let me know what you think. Heading into Barcelona, it seems that when I updated this game, back end loss. It seems that there has been a bit of a shake-up with the performance of some of the teams. It has changed. I think they've nerfed Haas a little bit, so they are now slower than us, or they were. Speaking of Haas, actually overtake Romain Grosjean, who is coming out of the pit lane. This is actually pretty monumental. Never before has the AI slowed down coming out of the pit lane to let you start your lap. That was absolutely legendary, so kudos to Codemasters for sorting that out. And now the AI really don't get in your way anymore, so that is really, really nice. But practice went well. The car feels decent, a little bit more competitive than what it was previously. We're going to go for a major weight reduction upgrade, and that'll hopefully go on the car in time for Baku, I believe. Just before Baku. So fingers crossed that'll go on. But let's go to quali. Alright then, here we are for qualifying of the Spanish Grand Prix. If you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all of my F1 2020 career mode videos and other F1 2020 videos that I do in general. Once again, the support has just been incredible the last few days. We are absolutely racing to 500,000 subscribers, so if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and make sure you leave a like as well on the video. That'll really help out my channel. But yeah, let's get into it. Hopefully, we'll be getting to a point either now or in the next few races where we can start to challenge for Q2 positions. I'm not too sure about mixed pace, but I'm hoping that maybe one of us could get out of Q1 in this qualifying session. That would be absolutely phenomenal. Our banker couple laps have seen us in the top 10 so far. However, that's slightly elevated because it turns out that a lot of people haven't done a run yet. Literally about half the field have been in the pit lane the whole session, and it seems that they're saving their run right for the very end. Some very Tiametmarduk-esque style strategies there. That's what I like to do if I'm in a faster car and I know I'm comfortable. I can just whack out a lap at the end and save a set of tyres for Q2 and Q3. So it's nice to see that the AI kind of do that in a way, but it is very, very risky. What if there's a yellow flag or they make a mistake? They can be locked in Q1 and trapped at the back of the field. That's definitely not what you want at a track like this, where overtaking is quite difficult and dirty air is very prominent. Well, that's one thing as well. I did touch upon this, I think, in an online video the other day. Is dirty air is much more of a thing on this game compared to 2019, and some of the racing that you'll see today really supports that statement. But anyway, we're here out for our final lap. We're still in P13, so we are on target to make it through to the next session, but I just wanted to be out there at the end to set another time and make sure I could solidify that position potentially. But as everyone crosses the line, we continue to get bumped further and further down the order. Currently sitting in P16, make that P17, but it looks like we are the last to cross the line and there's no one in front of us on track, so it looks like at the worst we will be P17 for the qualifying of the Spanish Grand Prix. If we can improve by a little bit, then we're into the next session. It says we're up by 4/10, but if you look at the red boxes, Sector 1 and Sector 2, it says we were down. I guess we'll find out in just a minute whether the Delta was lying to us or not. Out of the final corner, punch it out of there, open the DRS, and up to the line. You'll notice I did the exact same time as what I did on my second lap. So that is consistency for you right there. But it turns out, after everything is said and done, we got demoted from 17th to 21st, despite no one else being in front of us on track. So I don't know how we've been beaten by cars that weren't out on track, but that's what's transpired. It is last row of the grid for us once again. Frustrating. I really could have done with 17th place there, but oh well. We move on to the Spanish Grand Prix now. Pace seems decent. So let's see what we can do.
The Spanish Grand Prix has been a permanent fixture on the Formula One calendar for over 30 years now, and for good reason. Do you remember Michael Schumacher's absolute dominance here in that rain-soaked Grand Prix in 1996? That day he took his first ever victory for Ferrari, and we've had many more iconic moments since. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Anthony, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn 1. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are three main things to worry about there, Crofty: positioning, awareness and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
Thanks, Ant. I feel insulted now. That couldn't have been any more directed at me if you tried. That's normally me anyway, but especially after me and Anthony Davidson ourselves came together at Canada.
Canadian circuit, that's going to be very close. Oh, into the wall, that was always going to happen. Frustration for Davidson. Ben Daly has him into the wall, and well, that wasn't a commentator's curse, that was a director's curse, cutting to Mr. Davidson at that exact moment, and he finds himself recovering from the final chicane.
So, yeah, I'll try to take that advice on board as we now gear up for the Spanish Grand Prix. We're here for a one-stop strategy, mediums to hards. Looks like that's going to be the fastest way around this circuit, provided that there aren't any safety cars which intervene. If there is, I Might go for the two-stop strategy. I might try and get myself some better tyres. Overtaking is going to be difficult, and we are pretty much last anyway, so we might need some help from above today to get anywhere near some points. Away we go for the Spanish Grand Prix, and it's been an absolutely dreadful start. Really need to work on those. But what it does mean is it just keeps us out of trouble by the time we get to turn 1, because we're not close to dive bomb anyone. Or are we? We still make up a lot of ground though. Everyone being very tentative on this first lap. The two Williams boys finding a way tooth and nail to see who can be the lead driver of the two. I tell you what, it's going to be a pretty momentous day for either of the Williams boys if they can get a point over each other as we try and go around the outside of both of them here at turn 5. Doesn't quite work out as we get completely squeezed by Nicholas Latifi. Me and him are forming quite the rivalry, it seems, in this career mode series. But here's the replay. To be honest, even though I should be biased here, I think that was just a racing incident, especially when you look at Latifi's on board. I think he got spooked by Russell a little bit on the inside, and it was just a bit of a knee-jerk reaction, and probably didn't even know I was on his outside. So it's a bit unfortunate, but in the end, we haven't really lost anything. We're still in last place, and I'd imagine with the congestion of the first lap, we'll just catch up in this braking zone, to be honest. We might even get Russell! Oh no, he didn't even see I was there. So again, squeezed out by the Williams boys. They are really getting their elbows out today. I mean, they've got to take every chance that they can get. They are the slowest car now, and yeah. They've just... Oh no! Russell's gone! Oh, so all that defending for nothing. And he's out of the Spanish Grand Prix. I tell you what, a lot of people will be stretching their engines here. The first power unit is coming to the end of its life. I'm into power unit 2, trying to be conservative. I will take grid penalties at some point this season, but other teams are taking a different approach, and it's cost Williams pretty badly there. Oh, I say badly, they were probably going to finish last anyway, let's be honest. But they've lost their lead driver in George Russell. So I guess the responsibilities of the team lie solely on Nicholas Latifi to get a good result today. Let's see if he can muster anything. But yeah, lap 3, you'll see a bit of a montage here. You'll see just how difficult it is to overtake around here. I spent a lot of time trying to get in front of Nicholas. Nearly ran into the back of him there. I think I actually did give him a light touch, but thankfully, no front wing damage. So, in the early stages of this race, I was really working away quite hard to get at Nicholas here, but it was to no avail. The dirty air was holding me back a little bit, especially here at turn 3. A car in front will always pull away just that little bit, but now you can see just a rolling yo-yo effect of what the gap is between myself and Nicholas. This time, we're a little bit close on this lap here, and I was a little bit weak in previous laps out of this final chicane, which was really preventing me from having a little go. But this time, it's still not perfect. I'm not laying down the power amazingly, but I am a lot closer to Nicholas this time. And with overtake, DRS, and rich mixture, we do have enough momentum to get past a Williams, which is the slowest car in a straight line due to its poor drag efficiency. We get past at the back end of the straight. So if we struggle to get past a Williams, it took us 4 laps to do that, how are we going to go about overtaking anyone else? How am I going to go about overtaking my equal Mick Schumacher, or a car that, dare I say it, is even faster than ours? It's going to be tough, guys. It's going to be really, really tough. Lap 7, a few people have stopped. We're into P17 in this Grand Prix. We're passively getting some achievements or challenges, which are now part of the podium pass. They give you XP and stuff. I need to check out what they actually are to see if I can aim for achieving certain objectives. But yeah, it's cool to see a new level of customization, and just gives you extra benefits to play different game modes that you wouldn't otherwise try, and it's good.
We're trailing our teammate by 3.8 seconds. They're on old mediums. They're in 11th. The time last lap was a 1 minute 20.3.
So pace of Schumacher looks really strong. A 20.2 was his last lap. That's 3/10 clear of what my best lap overall is all race in clean air. I can tell you Mick went and did a 20.2 on this lap, so he improved again ever so slightly. So it's going to be very tough to run with the pace of my teammate. Charles Leclerc, the reason why we were riding on board with him there, he's actually made his stop and is stuck behind an Alfa Romeo. He finally gets the move done around the outside of turn 10. does have superior traction. Let's see if, yeah, the Alfa Romeo does back out of it, thankfully. And Charles is through for a very minor placing. Looks like that early call for the undercut is not going to work out too well for him there. This is Ricciardo, who has also stopped in this Grand Prix and is looking pretty pacey. However, I don't really want to race him. I just want to go about my business and not get held up, really. But here we go, defending to the inside. Here goes Ricciardo around the outside. Are we going to get him back? No, we are not. We just settle in behind and we'll suck up a bit of that dirty air. And just look at that. Look at the gap that Ricciardo pulls turn 3. Literally about 2/10 clear of me there, just in one corner alone. That is fresh tyres, better car, dirty air, etc. Into the pit lane for lap 15. We are going on to the hard compound tyres, and we will run these to the end of the Grand Prix. Unfortunately, no safety car intervention just yet. The boys looking after me pretty well on the stops here. I don't think there's any kind of pit stop perks that you can apply or pay for, and for good measure as well, because the guys are absolutely sublime in the pit stops. I swear they are the fastest in the field. So, got the best boys on board. Let's build a better car next time, eh? Less time on the pit stops, and we won't need to worry on those so much. Anyway, lap 16. We're in P20 at the moment. We're pretty much last out of anyone except for Nicholas Latifi, who is in a world of his own, 20 seconds behind me. He's having an absolute mare of a time in this one. But we see Carlos Sainz emerge pretty late out of the box, and he is not the beneficiary of an overcut. He is going to be frustratingly held behind me. Ricciardo is behind me as well, so maybe Ricciardo wasn't making an early stop, and he was just naturally behind me somehow. I must have missed that somehow. But regardless, we got Lance Stroll coming out of the pit lane on fresh medium tyres. I'm trying to put some pressure on here early to see if I can get him. But a much faster car on much faster tyres is a recipe that is not going to work out too well in my favour. Here comes Carlos Sainz now. He's got his tyres fired up in the tyre temps, and now he is looking a bit more punchy at the back end of this race. Tries to go around the outside there to no avail. He is going to settle into P17 for the time being. 4/10 back as we go through turn 9, and he's actually under pressure from Daniel Ricciardo, who now enters the fray. So let's see how this battle is going to emerge. Here comes Carlos Sainz up the inside into turn 1. Can he get the move done though? No, he cannot. At the back end of that straight, I remember I was running low on battery and I had to take it out of overtake and go back down to medium, and that's where Carlos really gained the momentum. Here he comes again at turn 4. Not quite there. He's probably just a bit tentative at this stage, it seems. He's not really fighting for any points, and anything beyond P16 is probably unattainable because Lance Stroll is near on 8 seconds in front of me. So this is going to be the maximum that either myself or Carlos will get in this Grand Prix. 7 to 8 laps left to go in this race, and we're still defending at turn 1. This seems to be the danger spot on the circuit. Just have to deploy basically all of my ERS in order to stay in front. We are running low on the deployment, and I can't seem to harness any more battery power. I wish I could actually go down into no deployment through the third sector, as we see Ricciardo going around the outside into turn 1. Again, we just about hold on. We're getting very lucky with these contentious 50-50 moves, but we now got Valtteri Bottas out of the Grand Prix. He was actually leading the race at this point, and here comes Lewis Hamilton with a cruel twist of fate, steals the race victory from Valtteri Bottas only a few laps from home. Oh, that's absolutely devastating. The Mercedes hasn't been exactly on the pace up until now. Bottas finds himself in the lead, and it's cruelly taken away at the end. But here comes Lewis, cool as a cucumber. He is slicing his way through some lap traffic, including Sainz, Ricciardo, and now myself. I don't think I'm going to be as compliant as those drivers behind me. I can actually use this very tactically. I want to let Lewis by, but I still want him to be close enough by the time we get onto the start-finish straight. So I've done a bit of a cucumber move there. That's like classic backmarker, letting someone through in a corner. That's my pet peeve, but I've just done it to Lewis. I'm sorry, but I had to because it gave me DRS for the start-finish straight, and this has set me up quite well on this lap to set a personal best. 8.5 improvement as we turned up the engine and everything, and just pushed like a qualifying lap to get away. And it's given me a little bit of breathing space. Vettel has now entered the fray as well. He's now into P2, and we do a similar cucumber style blue flag moment, which gives us the DRS again onto this start finish straight. So frustratingly, Ricciardo can do nothing as I keep getting DRS off of the race leaders, and it means that this is the final lap for us. We're a lap down. I should be able to lock down P15 or something. I don't even know what position we're in. It's for no points. It doesn't matter. But it's just bragging rights, isn't it? To beat a Renault and a McLaren in a car like this is nothing short of amazing. Lewis Hamilton wins the Grand Prix. We come through for a very uneventful P15. Oh, it wasn't uneventful. There was a lot of racing, and I don't know how we did that. Power of the undercut, and then dirty air was our friend. 15th place. All right day.
The Mercedes team pulled out a fantastic performance today. They should be proud. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs, and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
Bottas must be crying right now. It's Bottas 3.0. He's been in the gym every single day, eating all of the porridge and growing all of the beard. And the machinery lets him down. And this first opportunity to win a race. And to add insult to injury, his teammate wins, sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix along the way. I think he even did that on the last lap. And his hopes must be crushed. For us today, it's P15. Mick Schumacher was holding on well. I think at one stage, I was checking up on him constantly in the Grand Prix. He was in like P12, but he didn't have the pace at the back end to really hold on to that track position. Potentially the engine not letting him run as fast as what he would like. I mean, we haven't really focused too much on durability here, guys. And I feel like a lot of other teams will be in a much better position relative to us. And I'd imagine Mick could still be on his first engine. He has had a couple of retirements here or there. And so I think on that side of the garage, they're struggling. But for us, we're taking extra engines. That's going to get us in a lot of trouble very quickly with grid penalties and everything. But right now, I feel like is probably the time to chuck in that extra engine now. We have put the second engine in now. I think we started around a few episodes ago. So it's in an effort to get extra performance and maybe sneak a point when other people are, being conservative or trying to, eke out their older engine. There could be opportunities there. So far, it hasn't worked out for us as we miss out on the sponsor bonus by one lap. What a joke that is. 10k damage. I didn't hit nothing that Grand Prix. So, cheers. Oh, I actually did graze into the back of Nicholas Latifi's gearbox. And there were a few, tiny little fragments missing out of my front wing. I noticed in photo mode. But that's it. You could probably recycle that front wing and bring it to Monaco. It'll be fine. But speaking of Monaco, that is the next episode of this career mode series. Make sure you join me for that because it is always going to be an interesting Grand Prix. It's my strongest circuit on the entire Formula 1 calendar. The AI are technically usually pretty weak there. We'll have to see how the F1 2020 AI behave around there. There has been a couple of little track changes. The flow of Monaco is a little bit different. But yeah, join me as we have more upgrades heading our way. We've got a lot of money, which we accumulated in this episode. I think we got close to 3 million. So we're going to spend a bit of that reinvesting back into the team. We are actually getting close to the end of my second driver's contract, that being Mick Schumacher. And we have some decisions to make whether we want to stick with him. I'd imagine he's going to ask for a higher asking price in the upcoming contract renewal. So that's all things we have to factor into the budget. So we'll see how it all goes. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more racing game content and join me for the next episode in Monaco, where, I don't know, if simulation damage, safety cars, the way that AI can get held up with dirty air, I think we could play ourselves into a really nice strategy if we can get into the teens in qualifying, start on a harder tyre, and maybe even sneak a point. I think Monaco could be the place that we do that. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Until the next one, the legendary Monaco Grand Prix. I will see you next time.